So I want to hear a Becky Allgood story.
Christmas story?
Yeah, tell me a Becky Allgood Christmas story.
Well, I have a lot of them. I think that Christmas is just a special time of year, and certainly for me, I've always loved Christmas.
Yeah.
And my kids are used to Santa building stuff under the tree. I mean, it's
Like how so? Like building stuff under the tree.
All right. I could give you an example. When Jason and Jared were little,
Okay.
they liked superheroes. You like superheroes, Spider-Man. My
Who
oldest
doesn't?
one still does. And Batman and Robin and that. Well, I bought all those. Well, Santa bought all those superheroes.
Okay.
And then he built, Spider-Man was going up the wall.
Oh, really?
And we had a bank robbery that the Batman and Robin were doing. I mean, the whole thing was just all set up underneath the tree. And I remember my boys coming down the steps, and they were like 4 and 5 or 5 and 6, and they came down and they turned and they looked at it, and they just sat down and went, "Oh,
wow!"
It was pretty neat. And
they hadn't even opened the present yet, and they're already enamored. Yeah,
they didn't need to, but they did eventually. But it was kind of I've done that every year, and I still do it. I wait till everybody goes to bed, and then I just start building.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
So what are you going to work on this year? You got any ideas?
Yeah, I've got some ideas this year. I've got a little grandson that's like 5. So they're the most fun.
Oh, yeah.
But I've got big Santa bags, and Santa, and he fills them. And then, we just have fun with that.
How neat.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping the Christmas magic alive.
Right.
I was just talking to Stephanie. She was in here earlier, and I was like, man, I feel like I've just been kind of dragging a little bit this year.
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't had my magic hat out with my wand and the rabbit and all that. And it's like, we got to get the magic Christmas top hat going again this year.
Right.
So
it is tough. After I lost my son, it was very tough. But you do it anyway, and your sister, it is. And of course you think of all those folks that have now are in heaven.
Yeah.
And you miss them.
Yeah.
You miss them, and especially this time of year.
Yeah.
You do. And so I pray for all those folks that are on those grief journeys that I call them.
Yeah.
And try to find the joy, because there still is joy. You get this beautiful daughter right here.
Ain't she great?
Right. And I said, that's what you got to find.
Well, and I'm glad you brought that up, because like when I go, I want people to talk about me all day long for hundreds of years.
They will, Joe.
Just every day. Like, I want people to be like, can we just take 5 minutes and not talk about Joe? But it's hard, because during the holidays, sometimes it stings and it hurts so bad. But once you start talking about somebody that you lost, that you wish was still here at Christmas time, it feels good.
Yes,
it feels good. And and you're doing the right thing.
Right. Right. And the people around you that love them, like that you're talking about them and remembering them.
They appreciate that.
Yes.
And so many people have a hard time not knowing what to say.
Right.
And they want to say something, but they don't want to say that, but they want to say something.
And they should say that.
They should.
That should. That's what I remember, after it happened with Jared, somebody goes, "How are you?" They would say that. And, "How do you think you are?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Okay." And he turned around and he came back and he said, "No, I want to know how you really are."
Yeah.
I really do want to know.
Yeah.
And I said, that, I think, is, I remember it. So.
How long has Jared been gone?
Jared's been gone since 1993.
Oh, feels like an hour ago, I bet.
It does sometimes.
Yeah.
It does.
Especially around the holidays.
Yes. Yep. And it does, and especially for his brother, too, who was still only 10 and a half months older.
Yeah.
They were just tight.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I make a point to do Laura, especially around the holidays.
Yeah, I bet you do. Yes.
We went out to celebrate Mom and Dad's 43rd anniversary last night.
Yeah.
Katie and her husband and my wife and I, and certainly Mom and Dad.
Yeah.
And you make a point. You make a point to say the name.
Yes.
You make a point to say Laura, because it feels good, and you want other people to say that.
And you want your mom and dad want to hear it.
Yes.
They don't want to know that anybody's forgotten them. They were just a real, real strong personality in your family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and there are people that are going through a first holiday.
Yes, they are.
There are people that are going through a first holiday right
Yep,
here in town.
yep.
And let me tell you, make a point to reach out to them
Yes.
and say, I'm thinking about you on this Christmas.
Right.
I'm sure you're missing. Boom,
Boom.
put the name in there and
Right.
let them know, because as hard as it is for you to say, boy, does that feel good when you're on the receiving end.
Right, it does. I know last night we had over 120 people at the play, and Bob Barrett's people were there, and Marcia Hetzler's, some of her people were there, and I said to I dedicated the play to them because they were in the first play that
How
we
nice.
did down at the Masonic Temple, Bob and Marcia,
Oh.
and we miss them still.
Yeah.
So,